Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nate and today it is time for my December TBR. Now before we get into what I'm going to be reading for December, let's cut in with a little clip wrapping up how I did in November. So for my TBR for November, I got 8 books, 3 of which I read completely, 3 of which I got halfway through, so I will get no points for them, and then 2 of which I didn't read at all, so I will be taking minus points for them, so that is minus 10 points. I did also buy 5 new books in November, which I will make a little short for at some point, and so that is minus 150 points. So I read 29 things in the month of November, so I got 29 points for that. 3 of them were on my TBR game, so I got an extra 3 points for those. 26 of them were either manga or under 300 pages, so I got 26 points. 3 books were between 300 and 400 pages, so I got 2 points each for those, which is 6 points. And then the only other points I got was 20 points for extra challenge points. I carried over 56 points from the month of October. Like I said, I bought 5 books, which was 150 points, and I deducted 10 points. So that left me with minus 20. I do have every intention of finishing off December in a plus. I don't plan on buying any books in December. So yeah, I will be ending the year on a plus. So that's where we are point-wise for the beginning of December. I don't know quite how well I've done yet because I still have a week left before the end of November. But November is actually going to be the last month that I'm going to do any kind of punishment for my game. I was going to give myself December off anyway, simply because I'm working a lot more. I work in a supermarket, so Christmas is an extremely busy time. I'm coming to the end of this semester, so I have a lot of work to do. And I just want to enjoy my kind of Christmassy reads. I'm going to have probably about a week where I won't be reading much at all because I'll be at home with my family for Christmas. So yeah, December was going to be chill anyway, but I am actually taking away the punishment element of my game in 2024 in general. It's going to be gone. We're still going to go on the reward system, but we are taking away punishment just because I have a lot of goals and a lot of things that I want to do, and I do find myself sometimes during the month going off TBR, and I don't want to punish not having read stuff if I have read other stuff. And I think ultimately reading it for me is for fun, and so I don't want that to be a punishment element into it. I am still doing the reward thing because that contributes to my book buying ban, and I don't want to take away that element because I am still on a book buying ban, so earning points to get books and such. But yes, but that comes next year. Also next year I will be using a whole new board as well as new prompt cards, and there will be a bunch of new little elements in. I've been working on it, and yeah, it's going to come in for 2024. There's going to be kind of new rules, new card, new board. It's still pretty much the same layout in terms of the colors and the prompts and stuff like that. It's just going to look a bit better. I'm actually going to print my prompts off so there's not just my crappy handwriting, but that is all for next year. So for now, let's do December's. Now for December, I have kind of given up, I guess, on any of the kind of challenges that I did have for this year reading wise. I made the kind of, I guess, mistake of not actually thinking about them and prioritizing them each month when making my TBR. I was just kind of reading what I picked and seeing if they fitted. Next year, I'm going to specifically be looking at the goals that I have and trying to get books to fit for them that I still want to read, because I want to read my TBR in general. So all of the books that I read from my TBR, if they could also fit one of these like prompts, would be great. So yeah, I did have the goal of reading like A to Z, for instance. I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. I still have too many left. So I am just, for December, forgetting about everything and just seeing what we read, reading the prompts. Now, I do have 3 specific books that I do want to read in December, all Christmassy books. So I'm going to try and get them in this TBR, but if they do not come from the game, I will talk about them at the end because I will probably read them over some books I get from the game, just because I will not read a Christmas book outside of December. Other seasons and other holidays I don't really care about. I'll read a summer book in winter, I'll read a Halloween book in April, but I won't read Christmas books outside of December. So these 3 books I want to get read this December. One of them I bought in January of this year, so it's been sitting on my TBR for 11 months waiting for December. But we'll see if they come up and fit a prompt. So let's get on, I guess, with the first roll to see what we're going to be reading in December. We're going to be playing with a little peridot today, so we'll start her here. And our first roll is a 1, which gives us a blue. And that is a random tarot generator. Interesting. So I'm on this website, which is just random tarot. So I have to basically match my book to kind of the vibe of the tarot card. Okay, so I got Judgment. Which it's kind of a tricky card to look at. I'm like, it has the English flag on it, what I imagine would be St. George's Cross. So I could just do a book by an English author, or I could do a book about angels. I'm gonna have to think about this. So the book I've ended up finding for this, it might be a bit of a stretch, but I think I might read Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. Now, the reason kind of being there is this being above them, whereas like the people at the bottom, which is kind of similar to the tarot card, which I'll put up here. This book also is about, I think, this main character summoning what he thinks is a ghost, but like the wrong ghost, and the tarot kind of looks like some kind of summons, like, and also kind of looks like these people are standing in coffin-esque things, and there are cemeteries in this. So yeah, maybe a stretch, but this is the one I think I'm going to read for this prompt. I believe this is about a trans guy actually, his family and not accepting his gender identity, and he summons a ghost who is supposed to be his cousin, but it's actually the school's bad boy. And so, is his name Yadriel? Yadriel agrees to help Julian so they can both get what they want, but the longer Yadriel spends with Julian, the less he wants him to leave. So I think it is about a trans guy, I think it is a queer romance, so I'm excited to read this. This is my sister's book actually. But yeah, I think it kind of fits the prompt. Might be a stretch, but so that is the first book I will hopefully read in December. For roll 2, we have 2, which is of course a jar pick. I have my spinner wheel. I had to create a new one on my iPad. So let me just, ooh. Okay, the manga jar. So this jar has all of the titles of all of the manga that is unread that I own. Some of it might be out of date because I have just done a kind of reading challenge. So some of the titles are still in here that I might have read, but we shall see. So I will just pick one and I will read one volume of that series. So let's have a scrummage and have a look. We'll read this one. Okay, this is Yotsuba. So for our second book, I will be reading Yotsuba Volume 2. I read the first one of this month, and I actually really enjoyed it. This is a comedy slice of life manga. It is about our young girl character, Yotsuba. Her and her adoptive father have just recently moved to this new town, and it's kind of just their average day life stuff, but it's quite funny. It's like mundane daily things, but just kind of stuff going on in this little girl's life, and she befriends the next door neighbor's 3 daughters, and she's an oddball little girl, and so like it's just a cute, funny series. I don't know when it started, but like it's just quite adorable, and she's really, really sweet. I had a really good time reading the first volume. I found it funny, I was laughing, and so yeah, I was going to read this at some point anyway, so I'm quite happy that this volume came up. I have 3 volumes of this series, and so yeah, I am excited to actually read this. So that will be the second book for the month of December. Okay, the next row, I'll move that slightly so we can see our character. A 5, which is a double. So, oh, I might have just quickly kicked the camera, so the angle might be different, so I apologize for that. So the green prompt is to continue a book you've already started. Interesting to see if I have one of these. And the blue prompt is continue a series. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to be picking for this. Okay, so for our third book, I got the 2 prompt section, and I have a book anyway that I have the audiobook coming out from my library to me tomorrow, I think. So I was going to try and listen to it and read it in December anyway. And that is Eldest by Christopher Paolini. This is the second book in the Inheritance cycle. This is a reread for me. I read the series when I was quite young, about 15 years ago, and I never finished it. I never read the 4th book. So I reread Eragon earlier this year, and I started reading Eldest. I am at page 182. So yeah, I'm going to finish this. Like I said, I have the audiobook coming out from my library in a couple of days. That works out actually really, really well. This is a series about a young boy named Eragon who finds a dragon egg. He kind of ends up becoming like the world's savior, the chosen one, and having to learn new powers and dragon riding and magic to try and save the kingdom from a like evil empire kind of thing. I really enjoyed the series when I was younger. I did like my reread of Eragon. I will say I'm not 100% convinced by the audiobook narrator. He's a bit older, and so I think he makes Eragon sound a bit older, but because Eragon is a teenager and a bit whiny, it kind of is annoying. But yeah, this book expands into having some POV chapters from Eragon's cousin Roran, who I actually really like. So I have been really enjoying the reread of this. So that is this third book that I will be reading this month in December. None of the books I wanted yet have made it on here, but we still have quite a way to get around the board. So let's go on to the next roll. 5 again. That is a free pick, which is perfect. I will do at the end of the game. So we'll go again. 5 again. And that is a green, so let's see what we get. A female author. So female author worked perfectly because all 3 books I wanted to read, I think, are by female authors, just judging by their first names. And so the one I will be picking is 7 Days of Us. This is by Francesca Hornack. This is the book that I actually bought in January and wanted to read this Christmas. So it's Christmas and the Birch family are gathering together for the first time in years. So Olivia, the eldest daughter, has returned from treating an epidemic abroad and must go into quarantine for 7 days. Her mother has decided it's the perfect opportunity to spend some special time together. Her younger sister wholeheartedly disagrees. Her father isn't allowed an opinion. When no one can leave the house, 7 days for the Birches feels like an eternity, especially when they're all harboring secrets, one of whom is about to come knocking at their door. This sounds quite interesting. It sounds like a Christmas series, a Christmas book, but also with like the added element of, I guess, a family drama. And I'm interested to see what this is about. It just, yeah, sounds interesting. I was going to try and read it in this month anyway, otherwise I wouldn't be reading it till next December. So this will go on for my female author. And then I will do my 3 pick at the end of the game. So another roll. A 1, which is a blue. That gives us Scene the Adaptation. For Scene the Adaptation, I will be putting on Boys Over Flowers Volume 20. 5. I've seen 3 different adaptations of this manga series. It is a romance series. I've spoken about it many times. It's been on multiple TBRs for the different volumes, and so 25 will be going on for December. On to the next roll. 5 again, which is another purple. Let me grab my spinner wheel. I'm not sure if this app will pick a different one or the same one by the looks of it. The same one. So another jar pick, another manga jar. So let's have a shot. I don't know, it's not really necessary to shuffle it. Let's pick out, let's do this one. What does this one say? Oh, this is Sai and Koku. Let me go grab it. So The Story of Sai and Koku Volume 1 was the pick from the manga jar. This is actually a reread for me, and I have seen the anime for this series. This is a kind of historical romance-y series. Kind of also drama, I guess. It is about our main character Shuri ends up becoming a consort to Ryuki, and he kind of isn't someone that's interested in being the emperor and ruling, and she's someone that kind of works really hard. They do end up bonding together as a romance. A lot happens in the series, I remember from the anime, and it's quite complicated, but I did remember enjoying it. So I have a few of these volumes, so I am excited to reread this and try and read the rest of the series. So this will be the next volume for December. Let's go on to the next roll. This down here. 6. So that is a green and a red. So I'll do the green first. So a horror or a thriller. And for that, I will also do roll the dice, a d8, and then go back that amount. So let's do that quickly. So I will roll my d8. 2, that's fine, and a green. So I will pick a second book then for that landing, which is another green. A translated book. So first up, for our horror thriller, this works perfectly for another one of my books, and that is Dying for Christmas by Tammy Cohen. It is about, swept up in the magic and romance of meeting a handsome stranger at Christmas time, Jessica Gold makes a spontaneous decision, but now she is being held a prisoner. Every day he gives her a gift, each one more disturbing than the last. She knows he has something special planned for the 12th day of Christmas, but can she outwit him before it's too late? This is also actually the book that me and my sisters are doing as our kind of Christmas book club. We did a Christmas Carol last year, and so we kind of wanted to keep up doing a kind of Christmassy book and that we could discuss it at Christmas time when we're all together. So this is the book for that. So I'm happy that I got it on here. That is 2 out of the 3 on my list. And then for having to go back and landing on another green, I got translated. And for that, I will be putting on the next volume in Boys Over Flowers, volume 26. I imagine I'll be quite in the mood to read this after reading volume 25, and they literally take me about less than an hour to read, so I could probably easily crack those 2 out at one go. On to potentially our last roll of the game. So I need 3 to finish, and I got 3, which is nice. So we got a green, so we have a classic, a blue, which I don't know if they'll necessarily work together, a gem pick, so gem is my twin sister, and then a black, which is to read in one day for 20 points. That's not the best thing for a classic, but yeah. My sister's not with me at the moment, so I will need to contact her to add in, but I will just insert here what she has chosen for me. We don't have, actually, to be honest, a lot of classics left, and I imagine she's going to put Wuthering Heights on there because that's one of the classics that she has that I haven't read, so I think she might get me to pick that one. So I'm going to say tentatively Wuthering Heights, but if not, I'll put up here what it is regardless. Yeah, so that is the book that I will have to read in a day, and if I can read it in one day, I will get an extra 20 points for my game. That will be a bit more challenging because I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to, but we shall see how it goes. And then I did still have my free pick left, which for my free pick, I'll be putting on the last book I wanted to do for December anyway, and that is Christmas at the Palace. This is a fairy tale prince, a very modern woman, what could go wrong? This is a romance about a modern day woman who is in love with a prince. What did it say? Not even in her wildest imagination did Kumari ever think she'd become a princess, but having fallen for Ben, or rather Prince Benedict, sixth in line to the throne, it looks like nothing will ever go as planned again, and as Christmas rapidly approaches, the distinction between family and royalty becomes even more apparent. With the paparazzi hounding her, her job on the line, and some rather frustrating royal training, Kumari feels panic setting in. Does loving Prince Charming mean she'll get her fairy tale ending and on her own terms? I really like royalty in romances, especially with like non-royal partners, so this just sounds really cute to me, and so I'm excited to read this. So that it will be the free book for the month. So this is the stack that I have for December, including the classic for my sister. Now there are like 4 graphic novels on here, so I actually think I will be able to get through all of these. I have every intention of reading the 3 Christmas ones this month anyway. The manga, 4 of them, easy. And so it's kind of just Aragon, eldest, in fact, which I'll be listening to, so I should be able to do that. And then Cemetery Boys, because for the classic, I will probably try and get the audiobook for as well. Most of most of the classics that I've read this year have been via audiobook. I find it so much easier to digest the writing that way. So whatever classic it is, I probably will try and get the audiobook for. So I'm actually feeling quite optimistic. I don't think I'm going to complete November's TBR. As it stands now, you will already know whether I did or not, but I don't think I will. So it would be nice to end the year kind of having finished a TBR, because I realised I did not say I have Christmas at the Palace for a free pick, Dying for Christmas for a horror/thriller, Boys Over Flowers for a translated book, The Story of Sai and Koku Volume 1 for a manga jar pick, Boys Over Flowers Volume 25 for senior adaptation, 7 Days of Us for a female author, Eldest for continuous series and to carry on with the book that you have already started, Yotsuba Volume 2 for a manga jar pick, and Cemetery Boys for a random tarot, as well as my classic that is Gem's pick, that is this. So yes, I forgot to do that little wrap up. These are the books for December. Let me know if you guys are reading anything in particularly Christmassy this month. I'm really excited about 2024 and kind of starting my booktube goals for 2024. I started booktube, it's been about a year actually. I think I put my first video up in December, but I didn't kind of start posting again until May. And then I've never really been overly consistent. So one of my big goals for 2024 is to become consistent, maybe one video every week at least, and really start thinking about book goals that I have and that I set and trying to hit them each month and reading down my TBR and actually kind of getting my money's worth out of the services that I pay for and things like that. All of that will come next year with my new game, my new board, which I actually have here, a little thing that I painted. It was a Monopoly board. It just needs finishing up, but it's almost done. And then, yeah, I need to sort the cards out, but I'm quite excited about it. Yeah, just kind of really getting into like a kind of good habit. I think I have this month really gotten back into audiobook, which I kind of fell out with a bit at the end of summer. And so I think I'm getting into a good mood as well of using audiobooks for reading at the same time. I think at the beginning, half or at least most of the last year, I was either strictly listening to a book or reading it physically. I didn't have much crossover, but I think I've become more open-minded to the idea of having crossover between these two things, and I really like that. So that's been working out well for me over the last month. So that's something I'm going to take next year into me. But yeah, I have loads of plans for next year that I want to make videos about and talk about and really implement them into my game. But yes, but for December, this is it. We have 6 books, 4 manga. I think I should be successful based on that, but we will see, because I genuinely don't know how much December's actually going to have in store for me, especially because I imagine I'm going to be quite busy with uni stuff. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you again hopefully soon. Bye.